What's your time and expertise truly worth? As a new doula, you offer invaluable support during one of the most transformative periods of a person's life. Today, we'll explore the art of translating that value into a sustainable and fulfilling and thriving wage. So, the truth is that a lot of times when you enter the doula industry, you hear the advice to charge your worth. Charging your worth refers to the value of your skills, experience, and the services that you provide. It's really about recognizing your true value and pricing your services accordingly. You would consider things like setting a fair rate, respecting your time and expertise, and attracting high quality clients. But I'm challenging you to consider that it may be difficult to know the value of your skills and experiences when you have just entered an industry 3 seconds ago, right? And I noticed that a lot of new doulas only focus on the fact that they've just entered the doula world 3 seconds ago. And so they haven't really had the opportunity to think about stacking their wins and the time and experience and skills and client wins that you normally would have once you've been in the industry for a year to a few years, right? And so it can be really hard to quantify the word worth, right? And the advice to charge your worth. And if we're being honest, the advice to charge your worth is what's leaving a lot of doulas under earning, undercharging, leaving them broke and leaving the industry fast, right? Because they don't have what it takes to sustain the work and also their lifestyle, which both are important, right? So, the advice to charge your worth is leaving doulas sitting in the gap between the impact that they know they're capable of making and actually seeing that impact come to fruition with the families and communities that they can serve. So, I don't know how many of you realize how amazing you are and how many things have brought you to this point where you decide to become a doula. A lot of you who I've met and have seen online have whole incredible lives where you've been teachers, you've been nurses, you've been in the military, you've been therapists or social workers, or even in corporate leadership roles. You have incredible hobbies like art, theater, holistic health, writing, crafting, music, and so much more. And you guys play so many roles: your parents, your spouses, your grandparents, your members of faith based communities, you volunteer, and you're showing up for the people who you love and care about in every area of your life, right? I also think that the advice to charge your worth is really erroneous because not only does it not take into consideration that doulas have just entered this industry a lot of times so recently that they're not able to quantify the value and the worth that they bring to the table. It also leaves out the value and the power that you transfer to the clients that you serve, right? I don't know how many of you have been a part of a birthing experience that's been powerful, or been a part of a postpartum experience that's been powerful, or have been a part of a fertility experience that has been powerful. But I have had a really amazing and truly transformative birthing experience when I gave birth to my daughter back in 2017. And the power that I discovered in that birthing experience has been what I have leveraged to become a more impactful version of myself, to stop playing small and quit my corporate job and promote myself to a calling as a doula, birth and postpartum doula. I've also used that power to found a local doula community of folks who needed each other but may not have connected otherwise. I talked about that yesterday. And I've also used it to create and launch this very podcast that you're listening to, and that tens of thousands of people have downloaded globally, and that I believe has been the catalyst for a lot of positive shifts for folks that I probably never will meet. It's also been the power that I've been leveraging for the last 7 years as I've been raising a really, really spicy Scorpio girl, right? And the list goes on and on. So, I want to show you guys an example of people in other areas that have something very, very valuable but don't know the worth of it, right? Because I think that this will really drive things home for you. I don't know how many people are familiar with the show Antique Roadshow. Something that's a little bit more recent might be Pawn Stars or Storage Wars, right? Depending on what age you are. Okay. And in all of those shows, the premise is random people have random items that they've discovered in their home or they've been given if somebody passes away, or maybe they purchased at an estate sale, right? And these people know the story that they have with the item, and they don't know the value of the item. So they are coming into this space where there is an appraiser, and the appraiser is the expert at the history of the item, the use of the item, the condition of the item, and can assign a value to the item. And almost every single time, the people who bring in the item are floored by how valuable and how expensive the item is compared to what they thought, right? Some of these items are worth hundreds of dollars. Some of these items are worth thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. And they're like, wow, I had no idea that it was worth this much. I had no idea that that was the history of the item or the use of the item, right? And so I want to just suggest to you that as a new doula who is stepping into a new career, you may need an appraiser, right? That has expert level insight into the excellence that you bring to the table and that you have the ability to transfer to other people, right? So, as we reflect on pricing and thinking about what we should charge, I think that there are some questions that we should kind of go through and list, right? So, let's talk about you, right? What is the formal and informal education that you have obtained up to this point, right? So, if you've graduated high school, graduated college, gotten, a GED, if you've also done trades, right? It doesn't have to be related to being a doula. Just list it all out. Okay. And then what are the roles that you have held in corporate America up to this point? Right. And this can also be roles that you've held outside of corporate America. Right. So have you been in retail as a cashier? Have you done inbound call center work? Have you been in corporate leadership as a manager or a supervisor or a department head? List all of those roles that you've had. List your hobbies and interests as well, right? Because those make you unique, and that's an important part of what can set you apart as well. So I know for me, like, I wasn't expecting it, but over 10 years ago I decided to stop going to the hairdresser because I was sick of paying money and getting mediocre service. I went to YouTube University and got my PhD in how to do crochet braids. So I've been doing crochet braids for years. Right? That doesn't necessarily have anything to do with doula work, but it can be something that's very unique and interesting, and something about me that could attract other people to me, right? So all of this is important. So list all of it, right? All of the hobbies, all of the interests. Another weird hobby that I have is since the age of 9, I've been like crocheting, and I got into like machine knitting recently, right? So we're just listing all of the hobbies, no matter if we feel like it's relevant to birth work or not, just list them all. And then what things have you gone through personally in the last 10 years that you can share with others how to navigate, right? So what are some of the challenges and things that you have gone through that you could support other people through? Right? This could be maybe something health related that came up that you conquered. Maybe raising children has been something that you've conquered and gone through and can give other people advice. Maybe herbs and different holistic remedies for how to get well if you're having like a sickness or illness. Like, so anything that you feel like you have done in the past 10 years, figured out, learned, practiced, that you can help other people navigate or teach to other people, list that. Okay. Now, let's list the salary. How much money do you want to make per year? This is your thrive number, not your survive number. Okay. So if you have all of your expenses covered, which you should list as well, and you can cover all of your expenses and then have extra and above those expenses, what number would that be? And what expenses do you have? And then, as far as your career, how many clients do you want to take per year? How many months a year do you want to work? And also, let's talk a little bit about if you want to take regular vacations, how many months a year do you want to go on vacation? Okay. So that way we can build in the time that you want to be off as well. Okay. So I feel like some pitfalls that doulas make as we transition from talking about the things that you should list out as you're considering your pricing and like your thrive number. A lot of pitfalls that I see doulas fall into who are new is automatically Googling and copying, pasting the prices of other doulas. Let me share with you that you don't necessarily know how other people have arrived at their prices. You don't know what thought, what energy, what effort, what purpose, or none at all, right, has gone into their pricing. And so simply reflecting their pricing without really understanding the pricing strategy, if there was one, could leave you in a situation where you're still undercharging and under earning, right? I also want to bring up the pitfall of charging a lower number based on quote unquote lack of experience. So, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but yes, you have just entered into the doula industry recently, but you have experience, skills, expertise that you are excellent at in other areas, combined with the fact that you have gone through a doula training and certification process, right? That you could be at any level of completing. So you are still going to be ahead of the clients who want to hire you. You are still going to be able to articulate the value that you bring, and you are still going to have something valuable to bring, even though you may have just stepped foot officially into the doula industry recently. Charging low, right? Charging a few $100s maybe, and then saying, oh, I'm going to increase my pricing. How many of us know that one, that could be really hard to track, right? Especially as you get more clients. Two, it can make your income really unstable, right? You're charging one person maybe 500, the other person 600, the other person 700, and then maybe they do payment plans and now you're trying to remember who you charge what. And then goodness forbid that client comes back to you in 2 years and say, "Hey, I'm having my second baby. I would love to hire you again because you were such an awesome birth doula 2 years ago," and you charge them 400 and now your price is up to 1500. You're having to explain like the big like gap and you're feeling uncomfortable. What should I do? Like, right. So it just leaves a lot of challenges and a lot of things that you may have to think through in the future that could totally be avoidable, right? By just setting a wage right now that is a thriving number where you can cover your expenses, where you can show up authentically, where you can pay your childcare, where you can keep your word to your clients and you don't have to back out because you didn't think through the charging and now you've undercharged and now you don't feel good about the services that you're providing. And so you're like, it's really not worth it, right? Because that happens a lot too. So it's worth spending some time here, really sitting here and really thinking through what's the best thrive number for your doula practice, right? Uninfluenced by other factors. I also want to challenge you guys to think about your relationship with money, the stories that you've been told about money, the things you've seen other people stress about or not stress about when it comes to money, right? And how that could potentially be impacting the way that you want to charge, don't want to charge, the way that you want to talk about money or don't want to talk about money, right? A good mindset book around money that I suggest everybody reading is You Are Bad ASS at Making Money, right? That's the name of the book. It's by Jen, and it's a really amazing book to really start to uncover like what are the hidden things that we think about money, because money is a neutral tool, but a lot of us have positive or negative or a combination of both feelings when it comes to money. And so exploring that and how that could be potentially impacting you and therefore could have a potential impact on your business is worth exploring so you don't run into the pitfall of undercharging, under earning, and not being able to see the impact in a longevity career as a doula because of the money piece, right? Okay, so that's my advice for you guys today. Homework is going to be to write down the things that I mentioned earlier with all of the questions around money, how much you want to make, your experience, the skills, the hobbies, the things you survived and went through and could teach in the last 10 years. Write all of those things down, find out what your expenses are, and really write down the number, the big scary number that it would take for this doula practice to really thrive and to really be something that you could wholeheartedly and authentically commit to without sacrificing and burning out and quitting before you really get started. All right. So that is it for today. We are in the middle of a 30-day intensive. For those that did not know, this intensive has been going on and on and on. So we did complete the first week already. So if you haven't listened to the first 7 days, you can go back and listen to those. We are now in week 2, actually, which is absolutely amazing. The time is flying by and I'm having a great time. I hope you guys are as well. This is day 10. And so day 11 will be coming tomorrow. And in tomorrow, I really want to talk more about business and how to really set up the legal parts of your business and to set a good business foundation for your doula career. Because how many people know if you sign up to be a doula, you also sign up to be an entrepreneur in many cases. And so let's talk about what that looks like. Okay. Check out the description. If you have any desires to follow me on any social media platforms, that will be down there. If you want to email me, that will also be down there. And if you would like to join my group coaching program, the waitlist is open now and the program officially launches in January. This will be the place for you to continue to refine your launch plan for your doula career and to get the accountability community and also the advice to help you grow your doula career in 2025. All right, that's it for now. I will see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for listening.